So, are you still boycotting watching the NFL games, David?
Yep. Still no NFL for me. So I haven't missed it. It hasn't been bad.
You don't even watch it on Sports Center, like the highlights, or read about it, or nothing?
No, so like I'll catch like when I go to the gym, it'll be playing on TV while I'm on the elliptical, or like some highlights will flash on Twitter. Like you can't miss some of it. But other than that, I'm not really paying much attention. The only thing I'm really seeing is only thing I'm really paying attention to is bad quarterbacks and how much Kaepernick should be in the league. So that's really what I'm paying the most attention to. Like Brandon Weeden just got picked up by the Titans. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that is what I'm focused on mostly. So I'm keeping up that way. But I have sort of a basic understanding of what's going on in the league. So.
Go ahead.
Derek Carr just went down.
No. Well, I'm just saying he probably would have gone to the Dolphins. That's a problem that, we're in a very, I don't even know, maybe for me it's hypersensitive and for millennials it's just normal. But like, for example, one of the main reasons he didn't get hired in Miami was because he wore that Castro shirt. That's why I grew up. So like those old school Cubans would have made life miserable for him there, and they would have had protests every day. So they didn't even hire him there because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm not totally convinced that owners, billionaire owners of NFL teams care too much about what the Latin American community in any city thinks. Honestly, like I don't think that's really determined a decision that they've made before. I understand it's Miami, but I don't know if owners are sitting around thinking about what other people would think anyway.
Well, they definitely got to think about their PR, and that's not good for their PR. And I can tell you, having come from there, and you got like all these Cuban Republicans that come from all that money that they have in Miami. So they have a lot of political power, and not just that, bro. Like I said, the demonstrations would be pretty bad every day. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want those distractions.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is not as bad. There are a lot of different reasons that they pick Cutler over Kaepernick in Miami. I know one is Cutler and the coach are cool.
Well,
there was
for
Castro
sure.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Castro shirt was one of the things, but. I mean, clearly Kaepernick would be a better quarterback than Jay Cutler. He scored 0 points against the Saints on Sunday, which is like scoring, negative 30 points on a regular team. So, I'm a lifelong Saints fan, so I know their defense has always been bad. But, there are other teams that Kaepernick should be on a team. Like, I don't think he should be on necessarily every team. There are some teams that don't fit for him, but he should be on a team.
My question to you is, what if it's enough for you to stop watching football, okay, mm-hmm. and you feel that strongly about it, and that he should be a team, what thought process do you think an owner is going through when Colin Kaepernick is presented as an option for their team to pick up?
Their thought process is probably that they didn't want somebody who they just don't want him. They didn't want somebody who was quote unquote a rabble rouser and made such a big fuss. So they don't want him. I mean, that's what they're thinking. I don't think. I don't know what their concern is, because everybody's kneeling now. The whole 49ers kneel. The team that didn't want him, after last season, they're all kneeling now. So every team has a player that's kneeling at this point. So it's sort of unavoidable to think about, what exactly is bothering them.
Well, do you think that they're? Well, let me finish. Yeah. Do you think that they're if you're going to sign a guy, okay, you go through the entire thought process, right? Number one, is he going to be a distraction? Number two, is his girlfriend going to be a distraction? Number three, is he good enough to be in the team? Number four, let's look at the tape and see if he fits. If you look at all that's what I think the thought process would be. Okay, like if you look at logically, that's probably what a team would go through. Is he worth it? Does he fit? Let's look at the tape. If you go through that process and you get down to the point, let's look at the tape and see if he fits. How many teams do you think he deserves to be on?
Whichever one he could play, he could play for. I mean, there are a lot of players who are distractions.
You could categorically play owner on every single team in the league, okay? And you probably come up with maybe just 2 or 3 teams where you would be asking that question to. So my question is like, bro, it's like if those 2 or 3 teams don't pick him up, you think this issue is really worth like just quitting watching football altogether? I got friends of mine that are quitting watching football because the players are kneeling. And I'm thinking the whole point of this whole thing is like, God, did we really have to stop watching football over this? I mean, like, because my thing is, what happens before and after the games, I could give a rat's ass about. Because you can make, bro, if you're gonna like watch football and you're gonna have strong convictions about something and stuff, and you're not gonna watch it because of those convictions, it's like, why would anybody kind of watch a Mayweather fight? You know, like
I don't watch Mayweather fights.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So okay, you do.
I don't watch Mayweather fights. I don't, and then also there are a lot of different reasons. Here's the thing about the Kaepernick. There are a lot of different reasons to not watch football. Kaepernick was sort of the last straw for me in terms of why I stopped watching football. There are issues with mishandling domestic abuse. There is their blatant sort of lying about the effects of CTE and brain damage.
Right.
There is just the fact that owners don't really have an incentive to make their teams better because they will just move their team to another city and have the city pay for these stadiums, and their owners do not necessarily really care about putting good teams out in the field, with the exception of maybe a couple of owners out there. There's the fact that they are expressing extreme greed. They're putting these games out on Thursdays, acting like they care about player health, but they clearly don't if you got players playing, twice in 1 week. There's just a lot of reasons not to watch football. And the thing is, like, it's not really it's not really a boycott for me. It's not really something that I feel like I'm missing out on or that I don't, I have to sort of struggle with. Like, the bus boycott was a boycott. Like, those people tried to get to work without riding the bus. Like, that's a boycott. This is just me, like, not wanting to watch football.
Right. You've lost interest.
Right. That's lost interest, and these are the reasons why I don't want to support something that, has all these things wrong with it. So I'm not sitting around, knocking TVs down at Buffalo Wild Wings, telling people not to watch football. I'm just not watching it.
Right, do you find there's a lot of people that feel the same way you do, or no?
I do. At first, like in June, when I first mentioned it, a lot of people were like, no, this, I can't go without football. But now I found that a lot of people are with it and just like, look, I'm just not going to watch. And then also, like I said, a lot of people are just like, well, it's not that hard not to watch football. Games aren't really that good, from what I understand.
I'll tell you what, the games actually the past couple weeks have been good.
Last week was good.
What's not good this year is college football. That's this is blowouts after. I mean, college football is because this is a good segue because I want to talk to you about this. College football is turning into the NBA, where basically you just have it's 2 teams that are going to be playing each other for the championship every year. Right. It's like Alabama and Clemson now are the Golden State and Cleveland of college football. They're head and shoulders above everybody else.
Let me ask you a question. What went through your mind, David, when the stuff was going down in Puerto Rico and our boy Trump was at a golf resort, and then he dedicates the golf trophy to the people of Mexico and Puerto Rico?
Yeah. I wonder if that trophy is going to bring back the power and heal everybody, right? That's one hell of a trophy.
Is he too much?
Yeah. Well, you saw him today. He was throwing out rolls of toilet paper at everybody in Puerto Rico.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was throwing out or either paper towels or toilet paper. Everybody to tell as a saying, hey, go. He delivered salvation to him in the form of bounty rolls. So.
Oh my God, are you serious, bro? Yeah. I think I honestly think that the way like Trump is still like almost in a wrestling character mode, that he cuts these promos and people just lose their minds. That I think the reaction that like this country has to Trump is just like I think he's just working everybody. Man, it's like I think the guy like just.
I'm not sure if he's smart enough to be working everybody.
Well, that's the thing. He's either like one of these older guys that like is sitting around the poker table playing poker and running his mouth and doesn't really know what's coming out of it or something, or whether he's just or whether he's just like likes just getting a rise out of people and then knowing exactly what to say to do it and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's thinking.
Bro, I'm still, he's been here, 9 months, 8 months now?
Yes.
Yes.
David, I swear, I'm still as we sit here, disbelief that he's our president. It's almost like, have you ever had your car stolen?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, I have. And when you go there, you actually look around hoping to find it, and then you walk back hoping the car might be there. When you walk back, it's like, you just can't believe this happened. I can't believe, that this, even, bro, there are no words to actually describe, the embarrassment to me that he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It still feels real surreal that he's a president, like you said, So
yeah, surreal is the word.
Did you guys watch? Did you guys both watch Raw last night?
I watched it. Yeah.
What about you, Konnan?
Yep, I watched.
I didn't, bro. Let me tell you something. I'm losing interest in the WWE. I missed it, and I don't really have a desire to watch it. I'm kind of like the way they built up Braun and just kind of deflated him. I was watching with piqued interest at the rise of the Braun Strowman character. Mm-hmm. And they just, when they just took the sails out, took the wind out of the sails, I was just like, they have just this ability that they've had over the past few years to just bury people, and it's just I keep losing interest, man. What do you think?
Yeah, they're clearing the table for Brock and Roman at WrestleMania, and they are sacrificing everything to get there. They're sacrificing. I thought Braun, Brock, and Cena Reigns was WrestleMania double main event worthy, right?
That's what I thought.
They blew that up. They're mowing through a Shield reunion. They jobbed out Samoa Joe, jobbed out Braun Strowman, all because they're trying to get to a match that I guarantee will get booed out of the Superdome. So, I'm losing sort of a bit of interest as well because, and also Roman pinned Finn fair and square in the middle of the ring a few months ago. So,
bro, do you remember
getting sacrificed?
Yeah, remember a couple years ago when they had Bray Wyatt really hot and they could have had him over like a monster if he would have beaten Cena?
Oh, yeah,
I felt the same way that D.I. does with Strowman. I was like, really? I remember he put Show through a cage. They broke tables. They broke a ring. That fatal four-way was off the hook. They had this guy going, and he just went in there with Goldberg and Lesnar, and they get in there, and Lesnar puts a Kimura on him. I was like, what?
Right.
After all of that, you're putting a hold on him? And then just the way he beat him with just one F5 out of nowhere, it was very
right.
flat.
Yeah, I thought,
and even now, and just let me just say one last thing. And even though they brought him back like the last 2 weeks, beating everybody up, he feels like he lost a lot.
He lost a ton. You don't even make the match. Don't even make the match if you're not going to make them look good at the end of it. When they had the match, I sort of thought they would just end up with Brock, putting a hold on, breaking his arm or something, and Braun doesn't quit, and they just stop the match. I thought they'd do something like that, but you just don't have the match if you're trying to build up Strowman, but they're not. They're just building up Roman Reigns. They see him as the star, even though every feud he's been in the last year, the other guy has outperformed him. So,
what do you think about? What do you think about?
Cena definitely went out there and outperformed him.
Yeah. What do you think about Enzo?
This is the thing that's interesting about Enzo is that it's sort of a sign of how different the times are because Enzo's backs like the smart dirt sheet information about Enzo and how nobody likes him has really trickled into the storyline just because everybody knows about it, right? They essentially turned him heel because he has backstage heat.
Yeah.
Imagine how many guys back in WCW would have been turned heel because people backstage didn't like him,
I heard he's going to get a rap deal.
Konnan would have been one.
Right. Well, guys, on that note, I have to run.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you all so much for having me on.
Right.
And I will, be on soon.
Where can we find you?
David D. TSS is a Twitter handle. Everybody cop my shirts. Go season some food. Teespring.com/go season some food shirts. Everybody get them. Tell the troll. Go season some food.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.